Hi y'all, this is House Guest and I am your host, Kenzie Elizabeth. Think a Gen Z wannabe Martha Stewart meets Dolly Parton trying to live in a Nancy Meyers movie in her 20s. We talk all about life, relationships, navigating your 20s, closing out the bars, or waking up at 5 a.m. depending on our vibe that week. Ultimately, living our best lives and figuring it out along the way. So come hang out. Sometimes I have guests on who do really cool things, some of my best friends, or it's just me and my house that I spend way too much time in. So let's get into the show. Hi, house guests. Welcome back to the show. Today we have Jaci and Chelsea over for a cute little couch convo, if you will, LA edition. I'm off to Los Angeles, the city of angels, and we are recording a pod swap. I've had the What We Said girls, if you will, on multiple times. So if you guys want a whole playlist of all of our episodes together, like, we can make that happen. They're all very fabulous and they're the best. If y'all are watching on YouTube, we are doing a YouTube giveaway to 2 subscribers. I will just Venmo you $100 of someone who comments a future guest that you guys want to see on the podcast. All the details will be down in the description below, but I hope you guys enjoy. Without further ado, let's welcome Jaci and Chelsea on to the show. Because I'm getting a little stage fright.
Really?
No, I would never get stage fright.
Because of these lights. When we first went into our studio, the first time we recorded in our new studio with studio lights and everything, I was like, I'm so nervous.
We were actually shaking.
I cannot talk normally. I feel like I'm in an interrogation.
Yeah. Can we actually talk about your new studio? Because it's really the most stunning thing I've ever seen.
Thank you. Yeah, we can.
It's our dream. We're so happy to have an actual studio. I mean, we were getting bullied before, as we should, because we were just had a very
recording in a circus tent.
Yeah, it was the curtain behind us wasn't really giving what it needed to give.
It really was the blue, gold, black dress thing.
It
really was.
People would be like, the red curtain, and I'm like,
the red
sorry.
curtain and the gray couch. We're like, this couch is as blue as can be. It's as blue as the sky.
Guys, I have to be honest and tell my truth. It was gray to me.
The couch was gray to you?
It's not.
But I swear to you, that's why I think it was the blue and black striped dress. You know what I'm talking about?
Of course I know what you're talking about.
Because to me, I really saw it as gray.
Have you seen
gray and red?
Have you seen my TikToks of me wearing the half gold and white and half blue and black dress?
No.
It's one of my viral TikToks that I keep the dress just in case things go really south and I have no relevance, because the second I put that dress on, it's such rage bait. But I wore that dress once. I need to show you this video. And I was like, I love my gold and white dress. And literally I got hundreds of thousands of comments.
Wait, it's half and half?
Yes.
Okay.
But then people literally kind of were like, wait, am I going crazy?
I
need to show you
this
this
dress.
No, that's all you need. If you're feeling irrelevant, just get this dress. Look at this dress.
Nothing works quite like rage bait.
That's blue and black. That is blue and black. What do you think it is?
No. It's both though. This specific dress is it's a Halloween costume that someone would wear. But then I'd be like, I love my blue and white dress or whatever, and people are like, it's half gold. And I just found this white and gold dress. I'm obsessed. That's what I said. So anyway, that being said, the curtains were giving that. It was a different color and different lighting depending on what we wore, and frankly, it wasn't doing the job, so we brought in the big guns, and we had a set created, and we love it. Thank you for the compliments.
Was not reflecting our skin,
our truth,
our complexion, or our truth, honestly, because it made us look just disgusting, honestly. Every time we'd see a clip, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I okay? Am I ill?
And people don't talk about that enough. Podcasting, this career that we're in is incredibly vain. You want to look as good as you possibly can, especially when you have a guest. You want them to look as great as possible, because they're going to be sharing those clips. People are sharing clips because they think they look good in them.
Oh, for sure.
More often than not. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
Definitely. And it wasn't a vain thing, podcasting, until the evil YouTube came, and everyone was like, well, you have to YouTube in order to be relevant. Podcasting was so pure, and
so easy.
It started so wholesome, the best intentions of just doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter how you're talking with your hands, doesn't matter what you're wearing, you can just talk into the mic, and that's all that people
hear. It's just
hear.
the audio experience.
Yeah, but now it's just changed, and I feel like it's actually hard to keep the what's the word I'm looking for,
authenticity,
sacredness of the audio experience when you have to worry about being on camera,
what you look like.
Yes.
I agree.
What if I have a huge hair sticking out, or those things are distracting. It's not even necessarily.
Guys, I have something to confess to you.
Okay.
And it's something that's been going on the internet for the past couple of weeks. So, as you probably know, your old TikToks have been resurfacing.
I don't know that. So I don't know anything. I'm terrified.
Okay, so old cover videos that you guys have done in 2016 are resurfacing on TikTok.
2016, mama.
Old.
That was 2012, baby girl.
old dance videos of 2020. They're all resurfacing.
Okay,
People keep posting them. And one thing about them is that I am the first comment and I'm the first repost on every single one.
I'm seeing reposts. I'm like, now girls,
what is going on though? Like, I don't know what's going on.
Chelsey,
I haven't seen any.
Chelsey deleted TikTok, and that was the worst timing because I have had to fight this battle alone. They have come out of the woodworks. The YouTube videos of us singing are unfortunately accessible and just always will be. We cannot find the source of like the email or whatever we used to create that YouTube account when we were like 14 or 15. I'm trying to like lower the age. I'm like, we were 12.
Yeah.
We were 11.
We were full age of 16 probably at that point.
You think? Well, anyway, we started this YouTube channel, and then when we got into adulthood, we're like, how do we erase this? Like, obviously, we don't need this as part of our digital footprint. Can't find out how to erase it. Cannot find the source. Don't know the email. So those videos just live free. And then we kind of were like, you know what? That's us. You don't delete your old YouTube videos, do you?
No. And by the way, the cover videos are good. They're not bad. It's just funny that everyone keeps resurfacing.
No,
and
we
then
ate.
You look at the comments and it's like, Kenzie reposted.
I hate you.
I didn't think anyone noticed it. And TK the other day brought it up to me. She's like, I keep seeing them and it's Kenzie reposted and it's so funny. And I'm like, no, it's so crazy because like we literally have a group chat and like they haven't said anything. I don't think they've even noticed that I'm doing it.
You're the one who's posting the videos.
No, honestly, at this point, like if it stops, I might have to pick it up myself because something about me reposting
Well,
it
we don't
is just
have
so
that
funny.
many. That's the other thing is like, how many have they found? I don't know.
More than I'd like to admit. They found a few of the singing ones, and then they would go back into the archives and find the dancing ones. And the dancing ones are particularly offensive to me because, like, we were just too old.
We were married to. We had made the decision to wed at that age, and we'd already been married for a couple years, and we decided to do that.
And I'm like literally trying to get pregnant. I'm like, girl, you don't need a kid right now. When I see those videos, I'm like, you're not ready, sweetie.
The day I found out I was pregnant.
That's why God gave you infertility. Because you were
He's like, show me you're ready. Once you show me you're ready, it'll come.
I'm not kidding you guys. Like, I see those and I'm like, I'm literally crying right now, I have like tears. Because I'm like, that is so humiliating. Like, the thing is, we eat. Like,
no, honestly, guys, I really don't think it's embarrassing. It's just funny.
And the singing,
it's the facial expressions for me that make me like.
That's what I was gonna say. Those aren't things that we're like bad at. Okay, like we have rhythm and we have decent voices. I'm gonna say it. I'm a triple threat. Exactly. And I think we ate it up. However, like the serious nature is kind of what's getting me. It's like we're dead serious in them. And
we would rehearse for hours, but you know, it was COVID. Like, what else are we supposed to do?
That's so true. A lot of people like went to alcohol, and you guys went to TikTok dance videos.
100%. Oh, and we were breaking a sweat. We would honestly get into arguments of like, no, it's on this, like, and 8.
That's like literally me when I was like 8 years old teaching my siblings dances for like our neighborhood recital. That like I was putting on. I was producing. I was directing. I was choreographing. I was doing the whole thing.
Yeah, no, that was us. Like, we were basically quarantining together. So Chelsey would literally come over at like 9 a.m. and it's like, okay, let's get to work. Like matching tie-dye sets and 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. That's the best part is that the matching outfits. Like you guys really, really were in it. It's so crazy because at the time I like truly didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, they're like blowing up on TikTok. That was it.
Yeah, we were doing something. I don't know what it was, but
whole lot of nothing, honestly.
Those ones are a little painful, but it is funny. I actually think it's hilarious that people like dig them up and like all the comments are cracking me up. They're like, oh, they're gonna hate this. They're like, I know this was wiped from JC's memory because I have like no memory of like literally anything. I don't have memory aside from yesterday. Like I don't remember a thing. And specifically trauma I wipe out. So yes, all the TikTok dances are wiped from my memory.
Yeah, that's actually insane.
But it's really funny. I was going to surprise you on the podcast because she genuinely did not know they were resurfacing. But then,
no clue.
But then Aspen texted, she's like, I'm dying at these. And Chelsey was like in the message that she sent it. And I was like, no.
I know, I saw it.
And Aspen tried to unsend it. She's like, wait. I was like, wait, no, I was going to surprise her. And she tried to unsend it. Chelsey already saw it.
It was too late.
The damage was done. I saw it. I saw the screenshot of me with like weird extensions in my hair. I don't know what was happening, but
yeah.
So they found all of them.
I mean, they found probably the YouTube channel. I mean,
we don't know that many, but like 3 or 4 songs.
And yeah, they were, but you know what someone was saying? They're like, this was they were like really complimenting us. They're like, this was pre-chin, pre-nose, pre-teeth. I'm like,
Pre-nose. Who got a nose?
Yeah, I'm like, new nose. I'm like, no one had a new nose here.
Pre-nose?
Pre-BBL.
No, literally. I'm like, they're like new teeth. I'm like, I already had braces. Like, what? Okay.
Like, look how ugly they used to be.
Yeah. I'm like, you did get me on the lips and the chin, but other than that, I don't know what they're talking about.
New nose.
They were assuming that we like
literally redid our faces.
Like facial reconstruction
and now
surgery.
we're like, now I know how Hailey Bieber and Bella Hadid feel when they're like, we didn't do anything. You guys, it's all natural, okay?
Yeah. I mean, you can say that. I can't as much, unfortunately. But.
Well, actually, it's not all natural. I have filler and Botox, but
Okay. Anyway, guys, that's like my favorite thing that's happening on the internet right now.
Well, speaking of things we've learned in our 20s, to put down the tripod and the TikTok songs. That's what we've learned.
After age.
No, that's so real.
Did you do any dancing?
Not really, but I wish I had because I would make more money, transparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that I had.
It's just funny because people who were never into dancing at all or any of that stuff like became TikTok. It was just a thing. Like anyone learned the dances because it was like COVID, people were stuck at home and then so many people were blowing up from dancing that I feel like it just genuinely became a thing that like everyone I knew did.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people I knew that never danced or anything, like they would learn TikTok dances.
Yes. It was fun.
I think we should get into what we wish we knew in our earlier 20s.
I'm ready.
You know, I technically still am in my 20s.
How old are you?
Yeah,
I'm
I was going to
27.
say.
I'm turning 28, but I'm not in my early 20s. And I would like to get to my 30s. Like, obviously, I would like to live to that point.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm ready for my 30s, I think. I feel like I'll thrive there.
100% you will.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was just saying that. Like, right, guys?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's all going downhill.
Yeah.
No.
Everything gets worse.
I was going to say you already seem 30 to me, and not, I mean that as a compliment.
No, I agree.
Like,
I feel 80.
Yeah, not even like you don't look it or anything. It's just like your energy gives 30 to me.
Very
so
mature.
I think you're going to love your 30s.
Okay, I think it's going to be good. Okay, I wrote down a couple
But you still have
notes.
plenty of time.
I mean,
before
I guess. I mean, I feel like I turned 28 this summer. It's going to fly by.
No,
It will fly by.
It will.
You know?
I have
will
like
fly.
2 weeks until I'm 30 and I'm like, I'm 20. I'm in my 20s. I'm like really trying to remember like this is the last I'll be in my 20s for like 2 more weeks.
For 2 whole weeks.
Yeah.
When
and
you
then-
said you were in your late 20s, or you said something about like, I'm in my late 20s still, I was like, I'm like, I can't be friends with you. You're just too young.
You're
No,
so young and
but
immature.
Jaci turned 30 like months ago.
No, literally,
Yeah.
I'm like 3 months older than Chelsea, and I'm like, you'll learn when you get to your 30s. You'll learn a lot. Don't worry,
You'll finally learn those
There's a lot of
lessons.
wisdom that comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for that.
I'm the wise sage in this room right now. So
Absolutely.
Um,
Okay, the first thing that I put, it's not just 1 point, it's actually like 15. just
Okay,
within
perfect.
one.
Great.
And this is something I've talked about on the show a lot, but I feel like you think you have to know everything in your 20s and you think you're so old, but you might as well be prepubescent, like truly. And I would say, I wish that I would have like leaned into uncertainty earlier because your 20s are a decade full of uncertainty. And I feel like I was trying to like push against it and have everything figured out and also like make sense of everything going on in my life versus just when I started to like lean in and just think like, it doesn't matter, I'll figure it out. Or like, I'm not supposed to know right now. I feel like before I was like up against a wave, if that makes any sense. And then once I just leaned in, then I just started having fun and relaxing. And then I needed to chill out. I really needed to relax. It's like you hear that and you know that you're not supposed to have everything figured out. But I'm like, yeah, no one else needs to have everything figured out, but like I need to have it figured out.
do.
Yeah. But I'm like, but actually I'm a little bit different because I'm supposed to have it figured out. It's a little bit different for everyone else though. Like you guys don't need to, but therefore I do. And once I just realized, like, not just realizing things, Kylie Jenner.
Yes.
Once I actually like implemented that into my life and lived like that is when my 20s got fun, you know?
yes, I like that a lot. As I was reflecting on my 20s and just like everyone around me's 20s, I feel like we all have such different experiences and it's kind of hard to put, I don't know, generic lessons into a time period that's so different for so many people. And because I was thinking like a lot of people, it's like their moment to, you know, that decade of their life is for like self-exploration and traveling alone and like figuring out what they want to do for a living. But Chelsea and I got married when we were 21. So I feel like we were doing all of that. But at the same time, like we did have a different lifestyle than certain other friends that I have or whatever who didn't get married till they were 30 or whatever it is. And so yeah, I mean, I love what you said. Chelsea and I were talking about that on the way up here. We're like, you learn that you know nothing. That's kind of like what you learn the older you get.
Yeah.
It's just like.
The more you know, the less you know.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like the older I get, the less I feel the need to figure things out too. Like the pressure that I put on myself at 22 versus the pressure I put on myself at 27, it's still there. It's still kind of looming in the background, but it's a lot quieter because with every year you get older, you gain wisdom. You know, like Jaci has the most of it right now.
Yeah.
But you realize that like you're actually not supposed to have it figured out. And honestly, thank God I didn't have things figured out because the stuff that I thought I wanted at 22, 23, 24 is so far from it. And like what I've ended up finding or what I think I still will, I just feel like has been so much better than like what I would have wanted at that certain age.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. I feel the same way. I think I'll go next because mine kind of goes off of that. It's, you don't have to be perfect. And although it's like you said, you just know these things, you know, other people. It's like, yeah, you don't have to be perfect, but I do. I saw this like Reels. I know I'm on Reels now instead of TikTok. I'm really in my 30s.
She is geriatric.
Yeah.
And it was like, my therapist, you really need to work on your perfectionist like mindset. You need to break free of that. And it was like me. Okay. And it was me. I need to become the most mentally healthy person there ever was and be your best client. Like that is, I feel like something in different areas of my life I've had to overcome, just like this need for everything to be perfect, squeaky clean, no matter what it is. It's like, okay, I want my health. I want to be the healthiest person there ever was. I want to be like perfect in what I eat and my workout routine. I want it to be all perfect. And then realizing like, that's not the answer. Like, what am I trying to figure out? Then moving on to, okay, I want my relationship to be absolutely perfect. Nothing wrong with that. I want my life to look perfect. I want my career to be perfect. And then just realizing like, honestly, in the last 2 years, what is perfect? It doesn't exist. And why you don't even want that? Because even when things are good, it's like, that's
they
just
could always
life.
be
They always
better
are
is the thing,
changing. Yeah.
too.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it's like trying to learn to be happy and content with what you have while still striving for more is a very delicate balance that I feel like is very hard. The lines get blurred.
And just enjoying it instead of, I reposted a quote again, very millennial of me, a Pinterest quote on my story yesterday that was like, now that you know you don't have to be perfect, you can be good.
Yeah.
And that resonated with me because I was like, okay, in my 30s, I do not want to be so focused on everything being perfect. And it's okay to think about other things for once of not like, okay, how can I make this better? How can this be improved? How can this be even bigger or even better? Just enjoy the little moments. And I think the last couple of years I have been better at that and it's been just peaceful. But at the same time, you just got to be ready for what's coming.
My mom has always said to me, like, you are such a perfectionist. You need to relax. My mom was like the opposite of a perfectionist. My mom was like so relaxed and so chill. And I like never really felt that I was because I'm the first, like the whole like launch fast, adjust later. Like I'm like, I like put things out and they're not perfect. Like I'm just consistent and I do things. So I never really understood what she was talking about. And then as I got older, I started to see it more. And I feel like for me, I really had like moral perfectionism. Like I need to be the best friend possible. I need to do this, X, Y, and Z. I cannot mess up. And I've seen it. I don't really know where this comes from in my life, but I've noticed it come up more in relationships or like just friendships in general. I think it's something that happened like 2 years ago where like I fucked up as a friend and oh my God, like the amount of shame, even now, it still bothers me. Like it still gets to me. And I like that friend, like it was Dom, like we had like a great conversation. It was fine. Like it ended up being so fine. Like everyone messes up. It was okay. But like to this day, the amount of like shame I have around that moment is so insane. Also in our decade of friendship, if that's like really the one thing, it just like wasn't even, it never ended up being like really that big of a thing. But that's kind of my point is that like I blew up this moment and made it like it affected me so deeply because I put such a high level of like, I need to be perfect in this friendship and in this relationship. And like, I can't be a human being and I can't mess up and I need to have all of it. Like it was this crazy spiral, but like that moment made me realize I'm like, oh, my mom's right. Like I am a crazy perfectionist.
Like nitpicking yourself.
Yeah. And I was so hard on myself for like literally messing up one time, which like people mess up in relationships all the time. Like it's a normal thing. Like it's actually like part of
I was gonna say
human
it's part
relationship.
Of it.
Yeah, like it's a normal thing. But oh my God. And that was something in my 20s. Like when I think about anything in my life, which is like I'm being dramatic, but when I think about anything like that really bothers me. And it's because of the like perfectionist element of it, you know?
I feel like also if you are really hard on yourself, which I am, like I hold myself to a really high standard in a lot of different areas of my life because I don't know how to even articulate this. And it's probably like this is probably going to sound like deeper than I even want it to, but I feel like it almost just feels like dumb to me to mess up. Like I'm just like, that is like a stupid thing to do. Like, why would you do that? Like I'm very hard on myself in a lot of ways. And I think when because I'm that way, I've found that when I'm being super critical and hard on myself, like it's much easier for that to bleed over into my other relationships, where if like someone, like a friend or my partner, if like someone in my life makes a misstep, I treat them that same way, kind of, at least internally. I'm like, why would you do that? That's like that's stupid. Because that's how I treat myself. And so I feel like the past few years, I've like really been trying to soften up a little bit and be like, Kate, you don't have to like always say the perfect thing, be the perfect friend, be everything to everyone. Like I've always just wanted to like have it together. I think that's the thing, is I've always wanted to be perceived as like a strong person who like has my life together. And so anything that would mess that image up for even myself, I'm like, whoa, no. Like I'm someone who has it together. And I think the past few years, like truly infertility did teach me a lot, because I just didn't have it together a lot of the times. Like I was doing IVF, I was not feeling well, and I'd just be like, I'm literally gonna like lay on the couch today because I feel very unwell. And it gave me it like really leveled me and humbled me in a way that I was just like, people just go through hard things, and like you can't just be so on and so perfect and have the perfect image all the time. Like that's not what's important in life. And that's also not allowing you to like have a deep connection with someone. Like
yes,
you have to mess up and they mess up too. And it's like, that's what being a human being is, and it's okay. So I can like really relate on the perfectionistic thing. And I feel like that's been something I've been working on a lot in my later 20s.
My mom would say that too. Like, she's like, as a child, you've been like this forever. Like, you could never mess up. But everyone else around me was allowed to mess up and honestly screw me over. And I had nothing but empathy for them, but I've never had empathy for myself. Like, I'm honestly glad that happened, because it made me like start to like work through things. I'm like Googling self-compassion, but then you go like, it's like then I'm trying to like almost, you like spin it in a different way of like perfectionism. But what you said about like, that's how you have deep relationships. Like that's normal. If you're trying to have everything together and be perfect and never mess up and everything's good, like you're not a human being, and you're not
it's not relatable also
at all. And you don't have like deep relationships with other people because you're so focused on not messing up and being perfect, and there's nothing ever that's gone wrong, and everything's perfect and everything's going great, and like you just don't actually like have like real friendships that way. You know,
100%. Yeah, that's definitely been something I've been working on for the past few years. One of the things that I wrote down is just that investing in yourself, I believe, is like one of the most important things you'll do, specifically in your 20s. And I was really thinking back to my early 20s when I was a photographer and I was like trying to start my brand. So this is a little more career oriented, but I think you can apply it in a lot of different areas in life. But I truly think one of the things that I did right in my 20s was I invested in myself. And when I wanted to, you know, when I was a photographer, I would do these shoots and like I would be friends with other photographers too. And I was like, I would have these ideas of like, okay, I'm going to rent out this studio and I'm going to like hire this model. And I remember other photographers being like, oh, like I would not do that because that like costs money. And in my head, I was like, but that's like going to give me great photos. And I would just be willing, again, this is like, I could make a lot of disclaimers too, because I was literally living at home. I didn't have like a ton of risk. It's not like so let's put all of that like in our minds too. But I basically just like every dollar that I made, I would just put back into like, I would drive my crappy car to California and like pay for the gas and pay for like a crappy hotel. I would go alone just to shoot like a model that I was looking up to. And I would invest like just like my time and my money and my energy into that. And I remember other people in my industry like not being willing to do that, being like, oh, I would never, like, I'm not going to drive to California for a photo shoot. And I'm like, I am. Like, I was just always willing to like kind of go the extra mile and invest in myself. Like if I got $1,000, if I saved up $1,000, I would buy a new lens, like, and then I would be back to $0. But I was just willing to like put money back into myself. And I feel like that's literally how I got like any sort of success, is just like repeatedly doing that, because I feel like that's just how you like level up. I mean, again, I think you can apply this into like health and wellness or other areas of your life, but just like investing in being the best version of yourself or in your career, I think is so important. And it's like sometimes, I don't know what the kids are doing these days. I'm like, is that a lost art? What? Like Kim Kardashian said, no one wants to work these days. I'm not even saying that I worked super hard. I think I was just willing to put time and money back into myself constantly.
Yeah. Take a risk on yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's confidence too, like working on your confidence, because if you don't have confidence, then you're not going to be as willing to take a risk for yourself, because it's like, well, I don't know if I can pull that off. I don't know if this is going to be worth it.
I think on top of it, career-wise, I think something that I've done different that I would say like a lot of like my friends that are in this space, like I've really invested in my relationships with women who are 20, 30 years older than me. Like there's nothing I love more than someone who's older than me. And like, obviously we always joke about how I'm like a grandma, but there's just certain people, even that I've been able, I've been lucky to be in rooms with people who have been like crazy, like successful and had so much wisdom, but I, built a podcast so that I was like able to like be in rooms with them. Yeah. And those women, majority of them have come on and are like kind of like mentors to me, like are still very invested in my life. Like I get audio messages from them frequently. Like, and it's more so, I care more so on the emotional aspect of it. Like I love these women and I look up to them so much and I'm so curious and I know they know so much more than I do. So I feel like I have like a cheat sheet and I learn a lot. But then also like that's helped my career so many times. Like they've connected me with some people that I've never asked or even really thought of, but that's been something I would say put yourself in put yourself in crazy rooms, like find your way in, like you need to be around the right people. But I would like really focus on people who are older than you that know a lot more about you, because I feel like that's actually a lost art of people these days. Like I don't hear any of my friends. I feel like before, a lot of people were like obsessed with having mentors, mentor this, mentor that. And it kind of became like annoying. Like I just cold emailing someone and asking them to like meet with you for 30 minutes, like pick their brain and quotes is like very annoying. Yes. But I think like I've been able to build something that also benefits them. And then we've been able to, we just happened to build a relationship through that. It was never intentional, but like as time has gone on, the women that I've had who like are some of like the richest women in the world who are very successful, that I feel like actually genuinely do care about me, I've been able to like meet through. So it is through the podcast. But I think just investing in,
but that was because
women.
You invested in yourself
exactly.
too. Yeah. Like the reason you're able to be in those rooms and have those relationships is because you believed in yourself enough to start a podcast, and you are consistent with your podcast, and you've built something that you are offering to someone as well, which is like also I think a part of any transaction. Like if you want to, I mean, this is like so can go into anything. If you want good friends and you want your friends to celebrate you, then you better be a good friend. You better be celebrating them every chance you get. If you want a successful podcast, like you better have something to give. Like if you're not offering anyone something, then it's like you're not just gonna randomly email someone, hey, would you want to like mentor me? It's like, why? Like why would they mentor you if you're not, you know what I mean? Offering, like you have to invest in yourself to even get to that point.
I also think in your 20s, like making sure that you have something to offer someone. Like I've never regretted like giving something to someone, whether it's like connecting them with something, giving them certain information, like, because I think one, as women, especially in business, we should do that. I think that's like a very, very important thing. But also I just think it like sends good energy into the world. Like I'm not even like an energy person, but I just think it kind of all comes back around. And when you're creating this world that's like very giving and we're all helping each other and stuff, like that's the world that, whatever world you're creating is like obviously the world that you're going to be living in. People always say they want a village, but they don't want to like be the villager. Right. And I think about that a lot in business. It's like, okay, this is also like the ecosystem that you are then creating. But when you are gatekeeping everything, when you're not willing to help, when you're not willing to like even take like a 3-minute audio message back or something, like that's also the world that you are then living in. I think that people just like forget that stuff. You know,
definitely.
It's a two-way street.
But back on to investing in yourself, I think that the concept of identity capital was something that like really changed my life in my 20s. And I really wrote like
the defining decade.
Yes. I wrote down like get to know yourself like you would a friend. And I think that sounds great until you're like, how the hell do I do that? I have like no idea. I'm so confused. And I think that like I'm so big on hobbies, like find a hobby, a singular hobby, doesn't matter what it is. Like you need something that you are doing, because one, hobbies build confidence, because the great Ed Milet says that confidence is built by making promises to yourself and keeping them. So as you are developing hobbies, you're consistently showing up for yourself. And as you're consistent, like confidence is trust. So you build trust by showing up for yourself consistently.
Yeah, learning new things. Yeah, executing.
And you also build self-esteem by showing yourself that you're able to learn new things. Like it's very, very beneficial. But you also get to know yourself a lot deeper. If you're like, I don't even know what kind of hobby or anything that I would be interested in, I would look back at what you were interested in when you were like 5 and just start doing that. So like anything, I'm very quick to like act on something. So anything that I felt interested in, like horseback riding, or I got into running, or, you know, journaling or whatever it is. I just like started to do that, and you just figure it out, like cooking, all of those things. And when it comes to identity capital, basically The Defining Decade is this book. It's a very controversial book, actually. But
really?
Yeah, people like really don't like it.
I read it forever ago, but I think I was in my earlier 20s. Yeah. So, and as we've discussed, I have no memory. So I'm like, I knew that identity capital was from that book, but I'm like kind of forgetting the whole spiel.
Basically, identity capital. I actually should
give us
look
spark
up,
notes.
I'm gonna look up the definition so I can get the correct.
It's basically like you're building up like points of like interest in your life. So then you can be a more interesting person, and your interesting people are more interested.
Exactly.
So then it's like, that's why I think hobbies are
another way to be perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
No, I'm like actually perfect. I'm doing a solo episode on literally interesting people are more interested. Like that's like it's so. Okay, so The Defining Decade, it was a controversial book. I think it's controversial if you read it when you're like 28 and you're stressed and you feel like you lived your 20s incorrectly, whatever.
Okay, got it.
I loved, what I took from that book was identity capital. And identity capital refers to identity capital is the collection of skills, relationships, and professional resources that we build over our lives. But in The Defining Decade, it goes more into like interests that you have. So instead of focusing so much on finding yourself, what you need to be focusing on is building yourself. Like there's not really this like level of like transcendence we're gonna find where we meet ourselves spiritually. I think like you are who you are and you build it from there. So with identity capital, it's basically just a group of all of the different interests that you have. And once you start investing into those, then that becomes your life and that becomes you. So that was a huge thing. And actually just like acting on it, treating myself like I was a friend, and getting hobbies and other things outside of like work and just my day-to-day was probably the most beneficial thing I think I've done in my 20s completely. I really think that hobbies, like I say it all the time, like if you've seen my Big Fat Creek wedding, how the dad is with like Windex, he thinks that Windex does everything. That's how I am with hobbies. Like you just need a hobby. I'm like, break up with your boyfriend, get a hobby. Like you'll be fine.
No, literally.
But seriously, like I really think I'm like, you don't need a boyfriend, you need a hobby. I really think that.
We need to talk, we're going to talk about that on our episode with you.
Yeah,
so we want to talk a lot
We're
about
saving
hobbies.
the good stuff for our episode.
I'm like, so can you actually stop talking about that?
So, okay, take that out.
Yeah, literally. We were talking before this. I'm like, I am like, you know, when like your funny like hasn't arrived, like that's how I was feeling before the podcast. And Chelsea's like, great. So like, we'll warm up on your episode.
Ours will be the finale, the grand finale. It'll be funny by then.
No, but I think that it's just so important. Hobbies are so important for one, identity, confidence, relationship building, self-esteem. Like I think that that's the best thing, and that's how you get to know yourself.
Yeah,
and
100%.
Also it's important to say like you will consistently be getting to know yourself. Like you're evolving and changing at all times. You don't come to this like kumbaya moment where like you know everything suddenly.
And certainly not coming to that in your 20s or your
Definitely
30s.
not.
Yeah. Or your 30s.
No,
like I
maybe
feel
in,
like
like,
it's
your
a
60s.
constant building.
Yeah.
Like my mom is still doing so hobby queen. She's has so many little hobbies, and it's like I feel like she's still even building who she is, and she's in her 50s now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so.
And also another thing that I love, I have a whole solo episode on like you're not behind. It's like a list of people who've achieved success like later in life, quote. Like basically I did anything past like 40.
Yeah, I love that.
And your life does not end in your 20s. Like most people who are very successful look back and they're like, God, that was a wash. Like it just, you don't know anything. You don't need to have it figured out. Like I feel like as women in society, I feel like this is lessened, but you had to be married with kids by 30. And like, maybe that's what you want to do. But I feel like that translated to like everything in life. Like your life ended at 30 for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. You could start a new career path in your 50s. You could start so many different things in your 60s. Like life is long. You'll be fine.
It's honestly a good reminder because I think it does sometimes, like even hitting 30, I had this moment the other day where I said out loud, like someone asked me something and I said, yeah, well, I'm 30 and that happened. And I was like, oh my gosh, like identity crisis. I was like, that's actually crazy that I'm 30. I cannot believe I'm that old. But also I feel like my life, like I actually genuinely feel like I'm just now kind of finding out who I am or building who I am. And I know that that's nowhere near over. Like I still feel like I have like 30 or 40 solid more years of doing that. Totally. And so it's like, yes, you have plenty of time. I also almost think that like, quote unquote, having your life together by the time you're 30, AKA if, you know, I feel like people's perception of having your life together is being married, having a house and having kids or something. That does not equal having your life figured out. Like there are so many people who,
well, what are you going to do for the next 50 years?
Yeah,
it's like, just sit there,
have those things figured out, but maybe in 5 years they're going to get a divorce, or do you know what I mean? Or whatever. It's like everyone's just on a different timeline. And just because you feel like someone's further along, like that's not necessarily true. And one of the things that I had written down that like I learned in my 20s is that the people that you look up to are no more important than you are. Like, I think it's easy to put certain people on a pedestal, even like people that I was going to say Martha Stewart, but she actually is better than all of us. So,
like actually that's not a good example.
Yeah, that doesn't work. But a lot of people I feel like that, you know, that we idolize, or like, oh, this person has it figured out. Like they're so successful, or they have what I want. Their house is amazing, whatever. It's like, they are no more important of a person than you. No, just because someone's successful or has money or has something that you want, they have a beautiful family, a husband, whatever, like you are more than capable of living the life that you want to live. And like you said, you create who you are, you create these hobbies. Like I think obviously there's a lot of things that happen to us outside of our control, of course, like there's a lot of caveats, but I think you do create a lot of the world that you are living in, especially in your head. And if you are constantly putting people above yourself and being like, oh, I could never do it like them, like you literally, your secret sauce and the greatest power that you have in this life and the greatest currency is that you are yourself. That is all you have, actually. That is all you have, is that you are uniquely you and no one else can be you. So the second you're putting people on pedestals and like trying to be like someone else, like it's great to have mentors or people you look up to, but like you just have to be you and you are important just as you. I think like that's something that I've really realized, again, later 20s. I'm like, what was I learning in the early 20s?
Well, I think too, like speaking of Martha Stewart, Lauren Elizabeth was on the podcast when we did book club, like the Mel Robbins episode, and she said something that was very interesting because she's very similar to us and like very hard on herself, expects a lot, all these things. And someone had said to her, like, no one with a documentary like has lived a perfect life. Like no one who's really interesting and really is where you want to be or someone that you idolize, like none of them have been perfect. They've all messed up. They've all made mistakes. They've all had like very low moments. They all have things that they would take back. Like look at Martha Stewart. She literally went to jail.
Yeah.
Okay. Like she actually went to jail, wrongfully so, but like that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that she's done. She's probably had many interactions with people that
she's not proud of, or that she wishes she could take back.
Honestly, with Martha, she might be. It's a little different. You guys get what I'm saying? Like and no one who has a story that's worth telling has ever been perfect. They've had really low moments and they've messed up. So like I have to keep that in mind when I'm like so hard on myself and I'm like, oh my God, I could have done better here, or I could have been this person, or I could have done that.
It's actually part of what makes them interesting. Like you think about Trisha Paytas, and it's like, if she didn't have all of her different moments, like she wouldn't be who she is. And she wouldn't be like as interesting and as fascinating as she is. Not that everyone needs to be so interesting and fascinating, but it's like, it really does make you more well-rounded. And it's like something that I love about people like Trisha is like, she is just being herself. It's exactly what I was saying. Like if she was trying to be someone else, like it wouldn't be this. Her stuff, her videos wouldn't hit the same.
Well, that's kind of her thing, actually.
Yeah, cosplaying other people, actually. Literally dressed up as like, I'm like, she's never trying to be anyone else. She's literally dressed up as like someone else every day.
The areas of Trisha is like she's actually a completely different person every time. But she is.
But she leans into it.
Yes, absolutely. That is who she is. Like, and she's honestly an incredible example of someone who I just went to the Areas of Trisha tour. We brought a friend. It was incredible. We brought a friend who is like, I mean, she works like a hedge fund. She's very intelligent. Like she knows like lifestyle influencers probably a little bit, but like she's not in like the YouTube, like internet realm. We were trying to explain it to her before. And I'm like, honestly, you just have to go in and like hope for the best. Yeah. And she laughed, what a shock. She was like, this woman is like the epitome of like being persistent. She goes, nothing that you said, first off, would have ever prepared me for that. Yeah. Second, it was so fun. She's so great. But she really is so persistent. Like the amount of no's that woman has gotten in her career. Oh my God. And she just like knew it was going to happen one day. Yeah. And she's 20 plus years into this at this point, honestly. And like, look at her now. She's at the top of her game.
Yeah. And she just keeps going. No, she's like literally an inspiration for real.
She is.
I think that one of the things that I learned in early, late, forever 20s is like, sometimes you have to let go too, kind of going off of what you guys are saying. You have to let go of, or I had to let go of who I thought I was. Like I almost learned more of who I'm not than who I am, like in my 20s. Like these things that I thought, you know, as a kid, it's like you have these plans for your life. You think, okay, this is what I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to do. This is who I'm going to marry. This is what my life's going to look like. This is what whatever. And this is what I like to do. These are my gifts. These are my talents. These are my hobbies. And I feel like the older you get, like you have to choose a career. You have to choose what is it called? I've been in college forever. A major so early. You know, you just have to like choose so many things of like deciding who you think that you are. And it's like you guys were saying, like you have to find who you are. And I think to do that, you have to let go of who you thought you were and like who you're not. And maybe these things that don't actually define you and you don't have to hold on so tightly to them. I feel like something I've had to do in my 20s is really just like let go of a lot of things. Like let go of the perfectionism, let go of expectations for other people, for myself, let go of very specific images I have of like, again, what my life should look like or what I should be doing or what I should be like, anything like that. And I think this happened too, like after I had both my kids, like I had this, almost felt like I was like cracking and like an egg was cracking over me where I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's who I really was like, okay, now this is who I am. And then it just like fell away. And I'm just like, okay, well, that's who I thought I was. I'm trying to hold on to the pieces and be like, no, that's who I am. I just have to find myself again. And it's like, that's never who you were. That was just who you were or that's never the like blueprint of who you were. Like that is what you were doing at that time. That's how you acted. That's maybe who you were at that point, but that's not who you're supposed to be for the rest of your life.
It's like ever evolving.
Yeah, you can evolve. And that's actually the point. Like you can find another millennial quote that I love is like you can never lose the magic because the magic is you. And I feel that was on my vision board this year because I feel like you have to, it's easy in hard times to kind of forget that. Like in different times of your 20s, you feel like you're immortal. You feel like you can do anything. You feel like the world is your oyster. And then something happens. Sometimes it's not even a big thing. It's like rejection. And it just feels like your life is over. And you're like, oh my gosh, how do I come back from this? How do I ever like build the pieces back together? But I feel like when you remember that it was always, like you're saying, just you, like the magic is you. It's who you are. And you can always, it's always there. Like it's never going to leave you. And you can always tap into that and just keep going. And that's literally the only point of life is to keep going. And there's really nothing to like figure out. It's fun. Like hobbies are great because there's really no purpose. It's like you're just doing this and it's
because you enjoy it.
Yeah. And it's usually something like cyclical. Like it's like gardening or sewing or even like sports or horseback riding. It's just like something you do and then it ends and then you do it again and seasonally, or like there's just something you're starting and doing and there's no destination for it. And that's like what's so beautiful about it. That's why you enjoy it so much, because it's just like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. Like just living and not looking for so many things. Because when you're looking, you're like being distracted by what is actually the point and the magic of living.
I also think that going back to what you were saying, I think that figuring out what you don't want to be is actually like 10 times more powerful than figuring out who you do want to be. I think about that just in my early 20s and just kind of the group of people that I was around. I learned so much more about what I don't want to be than I did who I do want to be. And I think that that was actually more pivotal for me personally.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Sometimes you have to try things to figure out like, that is not what I want. Yeah. And you could be wanting it for so long and then you finally try and it's like, okay, that's actually not what I am good at. That's not who I want to be. That's not what I thought it was. So I got
clarity.
Yeah.
To even figure out who you do want to be. I feel like that can be like, pretty clarifying.
I feel like the last thing that kind of like ties all of this stuff up with a bow is, I would say, like, do it bad. Like, just start whatever it is that you want to do. It's probably not going to be even in business, your multi-million-dollar idea. But I think that whatever that experience is and whatever the contexts are, the things that you learn are things that you're going to carry with you throughout life, and maybe that'll lead you 15 years down the road to like something that you really want to do. But I think our 20s, so many people are paralyzed with the thought of starting something, and the idea of starting something new is a really scary thing. But I would just start, like Michael and Lauren always say, like launch fast, adjust later, which is something that I always say. And I think that that's been something that I've done in my 20s. Honestly, you don't even have to look at it in business. Like, yes, have been working for a long time. I was able to like fund my own company. Like I was able to like pay for that. So that's a little more of an extreme example. But I think even in something as simple as a hobby, like just start whatever you're starting, if you want to do it, you start. It's not going to be good starting off. Like, just do it bad. And I think that that's really what's going to like give you fulfillment. Also, not everything that you do needs to be good. Like, there's so many people who love to needlepoint and they're not like necessarily good at needlepoint, like whatever that means. But they still really enjoy it and like doing it. So I would say you don't have to be perfect. It's not a race. Just start. And if it's bad, it's fine. It's a start. Honestly, starting bad is a lot better than not starting at all.
Totally. I just saw this quote the other day that I posted on my story. It was like, make it exist first, then you can make it good.
Yes.
And I feel like that is truly like the key to life. And I think, you know, again, you can relate it in a lot of different ways, whether it is business and being successful in that way, or whether you are having hobbies, or whether you're talking about friendships and relationships. Like, just putting in effort in life is like all you can do. And it's really important. And I feel like I also saw this thing talking about how this guy was basically saying like, all the richest people I know, the most successful people I know, the thing that they have in common is that they just like do stuff. Like they just try.
Yes.
And even if they're bad at it, they're just like, oh, well, I'm going to try and like, we'll see. And it leads them somewhere else. I feel like I've started a lot of things like that led me to other places. Like even being a photographer weirdly like led me to podcasting with Chelsey.
Yep.
Like that was, those
Our
things are
singing
not
videos,
correlated.
to bring it all the way back. Our singing videos led us to this moment.
It really did. Our TikTok dances.
Yeah.
It's just like people I think are so, and people meaning also me, like I'm not above this at all, but I just think like people are so afraid of failure these days. And it's like so afraid to look dumb. And I think specifically having this career has instilled a lot of that fear in me, because I don't want to like start something and look stupid. Like,
fail
oh,
publicly.
like I'm going to start this thing. And then people are like, you're not good at that. And I'm like, oh. But I think there's so much power in just doing it anyway. And like that, I really look up to people who like have hobbies or who try new things. I was listening to your episode with Lauren Elizabeth and she was like, I've been embarrassed. Like I might start horseback riding. And I'm like, she doesn't realize, like, I think that's so cool. Like if someone was to be like, oh, I've never ridden a horse, but like I'm gonna start horseback riding. I'd be like, I'm following you. You are so cool. Like I'm so impressed by you. I think it's like such an amazing thing to just try and just do new things. And even to bring, I don't know why I'm bringing up Trisha Paytas every 5 seconds, but like even her, it's like she tries so many different things. And I love that she just doesn't have any embarrassment or shame. She's just like, I'm going to dress up like this person. I think it's funny. Like I'm going to do this music video. And it's like, I just personally think that's so admirable. I love that people do that. And I'm trying to tap into more of that in my 30s specifically.
And you know what Taylor Swift and Trisha have both taught me in my 20s more than anything else is like, it's okay to be excited about things. It's okay to be cringy. It's okay to be passionate about something and be excited. Be a fangirl. Like when I went to the actual Eras Tour, Taylor Swift Eras Tour, and like watching just certain people like just shows me, I'm like, who cares? Like, why am I trying to be like too cool? Like, oh yeah, I guess that's kind of cool. Like, yeah, I'm not that excited about that. It's like, what? Why is that cool? Like, why do we think that's cool? It's actually way more empowering to other people when you are allowing yourself to be excited about things, when you're allowing yourself to be like, I really care about this. Like, I actually have a lot of care in my heart for this that I'm doing. Like, I really care if this fails, or I care about what I look like. I want to put effort in. It's like you want to look effortless, but it's like, what is wrong with effort?
Oh, I couldn't put more effort into everything. I'm the opposite of effortless.
No, I'm like full of effort. I'm actually going to be more full of effort.
Yeah.
Something that Jaci said too, like around the fear of failure. I'm also on the side of TikTok right now that's like successful people just do. They're not sitting there and conceptualizing for 6 months and strategizing and all of this stuff, because really what that is procrastination. And it's you being fearful and not actually launching and like acting on stuff. I'm an Enneagram 3, so like my biggest fear in life is failure. And I've really reframed it to like failure to me is just not trying. Like even with like the first brand that I had, I knew, I would say, that goes back to another thing in your 20s, like you need to know yourself and listen to your gut. I knew early on that like I should have done it in a different structure, and I should have done it to where it was built off of my career in the past 10 years and like leaning more into like stuff that I needed. Like I just knew it wasn't the right fit, but I was already locked in and we already like started. And ultimately, I feel like for so long I was like, God, I don't want to like leave, or I was like people pleasing, or I was, you know, X, Y, and Z. And like my partner was amazing. It had nothing to do with that. But I really ultimately was not able to be honest with myself fully because I was afraid of like quote failing publicly. But once I got to the point where like we made a decision to shut that down, and I immediately like had like excitement again about something else that I was doing, and I just like knew I was like in the right place and I was heading towards the right thing, which like clearly I did. I made the right move.
It's so clear from an outside perspective that like, and not that I even thought that first brand wasn't like at the time, I was like, oh, that's awesome that she's launching a brand. But like now seeing your brand and that it's so authentic to you and that you're in anthropology. Yeah. That's so amazing and exciting.
It's
effortless.
You're such an effortless girl.
You're so perfect and effortless.
You know, I don't even try, guys. No, but honestly, that really freed me from a lot of the fear around failure. Like now I don't feel that way at all. Like I actually, and my whole life, I was so terrified of like looking dumb or looking stupid or something failing. And honestly, like having shut that down and realizing it's really not that big of a deal. And I've gotten so many like really kind messages from people that I'm not that close to that have just sent me like 5-minute audio messages about how they're like, God, I think it's just so great that like you were able to do this because like I have this fear. And it's not like, it kind of sounds like back in. And it's like, it's so great you were able to fail, not me. That's not what they mean.
Watching other people fail, it's so empowering.
I could never do that.
No, I would
you
never,
are so
but
brave.
I'm so glad that you did that. No, they were just like, honestly, it made me realize it's not so scary. And it's like not that big of a deal. And it wasn't world altering and it wasn't world ending. And it really gave me a lot of confidence and like freedom to fail again. Like it's not something that I am so scared of, but I was petrified. Like the fear of failure actually was like ruining my life. Like it really, really was. And now I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I don't even really view that as a failure. Like I learned a lot. It led me to something better and we had a good time. Like I really don't look at it as like this like colossal failure by any means, but I think it's because I've reframed like I could easily be like, we did this, it didn't work. It was something that like I didn't really feel aligned with. I probably should have said no before we even started. I probably like, I could just fill in the blanks, some things that like I really didn't even feel. It's just like you kind of go back and like revisionist history. But anyways, and I feel like it really helps. So I think that everyone needs like exposure therapy to failing as well.
Yeah,
because in order to actually be living your life to like the fullest and to like your max capacity, like that's going to involve a lot of failing. So I think the quicker you get comfortable with failing, like the faster you're going to get to like where you need to be.
Yeah,
and just,
I think
like,
that's perfect.
Adjusting and also being honest about it. Like I feel like the response to failure, like specifically I'm just thinking with our job, like if you launch something and it doesn't do well, just being like honest, being like, I thought this was gonna work. I'm gonna adjust because like it didn't really work out as well as I hoped it would. So, but just not making a huge thing. It's like, oh, my life is over. I failed. Like, it's like, failure is a part of life. Rejection's a part of life. It leads you to great things. Like that didn't work. Okay, adjust and try something else. Like it's really not that deep. I mean, it is if you like put your life savings into something and it fails. But even
then you can start from scratch. It's like
your life isn't over.
Yeah, it is like obviously terrifying, but it's like you said, it's exposure therapy. Like you have to go through it to understand like I can get through this. So it's not going to be as debilitating looking into the future of like, okay, I got to equip myself with the proper like gear to go on my path instead of like trying to be like, okay, let me scout out the path in front of me, make sure there's no failure there, and then I can go. It's like, no, even if there's failure, I've got what I need. I can do it. I can go through this.
Amen.
Well, guys, this has been a really fabulous episode.
Can't wait for ours. It's gonna be even better.
It's gonna be 10 times better because like maybe my funny is like back on, you know? We recorded a swap so you guys can go listen to the What We Said episode. It's amazing. It's already up. Go listen. If you guys are new, be sure to subscribe. Love you guys so much. You guys can find them on What We Said and your socials. We'll have everything linked.
You don't even have to look. It'll come on your free page, apparently.
Actually, just go to my repost.
Yeah.
Easily, just go to my repost on TikTok.
Yep.
Thanks for having us, Kenz.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, guys.